Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, and I'm back to bring you another episode review from Season 7 of The Loud House. So let's get right into it. Today's episode is Let's Break a Deal. In this episode, Rusty signs a contract with Morpheus where the latter will cast spells for Rusty for one day, and in exchange, Morpheus expects a little something in return, i.e. Rusty's hair. This is one of those episodes where I don't outright hate it because it doesn't do anything truly awful, but at the same time, it's one of those episodes that just comes off as really bland. That's mostly because Rusty is the lead character, although he does share the lead with Lucy's fellow goth friend Morpheus. Speaking of whom, one positive thing I will say about the episode is that it gave the spotlight to yet another minor recurring character from the Morticians Club, the last one being Dante from What Lies Beneath. Between Morpheus and Rusty's dad, I believe this is the most dialogue Richard Horvitz has had in a single episode of the series, so I will give the show a point for giving one of my favorite voice actors a much bigger role compared to the many minor ones he's had in past seasons. I'll also say I liked the way Morpheus was presented. He ranged anywhere from deadpan to eerily creepy, and he even had a little troll moment towards the end, but I'll get back to that in just a little bit. Unfortunately, Rusty was also in the spotlight, and in case I haven't made it clear by now, I simply do not care for his character at all. Compared to the others in Lincoln's friend group, Rusty is my least favorite, and in my opinion is the most irritating. He's not so much a bad character, and he does have his share of humorous moments, but most of the time his so-called smooth ladies man personality comes off as annoying to me. Anyway, Rusty sees Morpheus using a spell at Gus's, and he wants to get in on some of those spells for his own personal endeavors. The spells included helping him get the high score on a dance machine, grow a rather impressive looking mustache, something he tried to grow back in the season 5 episode Schooled, sell off the leftover inventory at his dad's clothing store, and help him get a date with a girl who pretty much looked like his identical female counterpart. In exchange for all the spells, Morpheus wanted Rusty's hair as compensation. Rusty, being the kind of character who has been known for taking great pride in his hair, freaked out and tried to back out of their agreement by running away. For the rest of the episode, it's just Morpheus following Rusty around town and sabotaging his date. He casts multiple spells upon both Rusty and his potential girlfriend as a way of tormenting him until he fulfills his end of the contract. This entire magic-driven sequence and all the other scenes with Morpheus performing witchcraft were just meh. I mean, it's not so much I wasn't expecting it given the character who was making all those crazy things happen, and some of the spells were mildly amusing. However, much like anything else regarding supernatural elements used in a single episode as a means of moving the story forward, it started to become an overkill more than halfway through. Plus, when you realize there's an oddly specific spell for anything and everything, all this magic becomes less about creativity and more about generating conflict and plot convenience. Eventually, left with no other choice, Rusty fulfills his end of the contract and shaves his entire head. But in a shocking twist, Morpheus only wanted a single hair so he could cast a color-changing spell on his pet crow. Much like Rusty, I was also confused by this. Why would Morpheus whip out an electric razor if all he wanted was one tiny little strand? For a split second, I didn't understand what the episode was going for, but then Morpheus said it wouldn't have been as fun if he was direct with Rusty from the start. Seeing how Morpheus was able to scare his victim into turning himself into a bald-headed fool when he really didn't have to go that far, I think this guy just wanted to mess with Rusty for the fun of it. I don't know, that's just how I interpreted it. For what it was worth, Morpheus screwing with Rusty at the very end was both very entertaining and a well-deserved punishment. Then the story concludes with Amber dumping Rusty and angrily walking out on their date, but Rusty still felt like a winner because he still managed to score a stuffed giraffe from the claw machine. Well, a happy ending is a happy ending no matter how you get to it, and for someone like Rusty, I guess that counts for something. Overall, this Magic Central episode was, well, kinda lame and not very engaging. It had a unique character pairing, and even though I'm always appreciative of that, the characters involved don't really have the best chemistry to balance things out. While I enjoyed a minor character like Morpheus getting a lead role and seeing how his character was presented, Rusty's performance was as typical as it could get whenever he's in the spotlight. The many spell castings, at least by Loud House standards, were a mix between good and not good, and the story wasn't anything too special either. Even so, I can still point to to one random funny bit at the beginning. The anime girl on the dance machine said Rusty didn't place number 1 in the rankings, but after Rusty kicks the machine out of frustration, the girl gets pissed off and out of spite pushes his name down from 2nd place to 99. But yeah, this episode is what I consider bottom of the barrel by comparison to most of Season 7. If you're a fan of Rusty and or the Morticians Club and or magic, you'll probably enjoy this one. As for me, it's a one and done episode. Maybe I'll feel differently someday in the future, but only time will tell. With that said, I give Let's Break a Deal a 6.2 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Let's Break a Deal. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.